Hey everybody, I'm Greenhavak,
And I'm Cynize.
and this is ESHQ's Good Luck, Have Fun.
Justice reigns from above.
No one can hide from my sight.
友人の剣をくれ
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
Hey everybody, and welcome to Good Luck, Have Fun. Now, this isn't the original audio that we had recorded. We actually had a bit of a snafu, and the audio for day 1 of week 3 was sadly corrupted. But I'm here to make it up to you, so I'm going to go over the picks that myself and Cynize had gone over. So, day 1 of week 3, the 24th, kicks off with the San Francisco Shock versus the London Spitfires. This is going to be a pretty straightforward game as far as we're both concerned. Myself giving it a 4-0 and Cynize giving it a 3-1. Now, a few things to look out for in this game, are: can San Francisco Shock protect Baby Bay? I feel like if San Francisco Shock protects Baby Bay enough that he can really perform the way we've seen him perform in the last 2 weeks, they can give London Spitfire a real run for their money. But London Spitfire is a team that has shown the ability to get what they want. They are flexible, they're dynamic, they have lots of different looks and styles that they can bring. And you know what? They've got players who are at the very least as good as Baby Bay, and they have a couple. So, realistically, the London Spitfire are the heavy favorites going into the game, but the San Francisco Shock are a formidable team, and like I said, if they can protect Baby Bay, they may just have a chance. Moving into Game 2, it is the Shanghai Dragons versus the Seoul Dynasty. I personally gave this game a 4-0 to the Seoul Dynasty, and Cynize did the same, a 4-0 to the Seoul Dynasty. The big thing we both highlighted and talked about was we really want to see the Shanghai Dragons perform at just start to see that next level, if you will. We saw this matchup, the Shanghai Dragons versus the Seoul Dynasty, in the preseason back in December. And you know what? Despite being 4-0'd then as well, the Shanghai Dragons looked far more formidable than they have in the past few weeks of the Overwatch League. Whether that's coaching, players, not quite clicking the way they need to. There's still a lot of questions in the still growing squad. So the Shanghai Dragons have a lot to do. The Seoul Dynasty just have to play the way they play. The final game of the day, and this is the most exciting, and we also dubbed this game the game to watch. The game to watch is the LA Gladiators versus the LA Valiant in the clash for the heart of LA. And I personally gave this game a 3-1 to the LA Valiant, whereas Cynize gave it a 2-1, calling for a tie. And so that's interesting. It's a bold prediction, if you will. The LA Valiant have looked dominant and, well, lacking. And in the past week of the Overwatch League, they had a solid performance versus the Spitfire, where they just narrowly missed out on winning that game, ultimately. And they had a rather disappointing set of games versus the New York Excelsior. I mean, neither of those teams are, to be looked down on, and anyone can lose to those teams. So it does ask the question, though, can the LA Valiant bounce back? That is going to be the big question here. So the Valiant are off of 2 losses. The Gladiators performed well in Week 2, ultimately. They fell to the New York Excelsior 4-0, But they did have that game earlier in the week where they battled and took Philly to overtime and ultimately beat them there. So LA Gladiators are a very organized team. They're very team synergistic. Their attacks are on time. Their supports are never too far behind, but just far enough behind that it's hard to dive them. But the LA Valiant are masters of the dive. The dive is what the Valiant are trying to make their bread and butter, and we've seen it in every single game that they've played, from the Fuel to the Excelsior to the Spitfire. Despite losing to the Spitfire and the Excelsior, their dive still looked quite potent. The big question is, can they protect Soon? If Soon is allowed to go off and really perform at the level that he's more than capable of doing, that's when the LA Valiant become that much more potent, deadly, and just a real set of fangs to get you with. So it comes down to, can the Gladiators make up a strategy? Can they internally, can they build around the idea of, we're not going to let Soon pop off. If Soon doesn't pop off, we can beat him in a couple duels, win a couple maps, and maybe take this series in general. Because the LA Gladiators are not a team to look down on. And so, I mean, this is the big question, though, is who will be the champion of LA for the day? So, anyways, guys, we're going to keep this one a little short because I know the audio isn't what it normally is. But these are our predictions. So good luck and have fun.
If you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe and join the conversation down in the comments. It really helps us out a lot. And if there's any other content you would like to see from us, make sure to let us know, because we're all ears here at ESHQ.